opinions expressed in this interview are those of the interviewees and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of HeavieTalk Media and the Black Dot Blog. HeavieTalk Media and the Black Dot Blog do not endorse any products, services, or businesses advertised and is not liable for any products or services purchased.
Thank you for taking the time to speak to me and be a part of our Summit Series interview. I'm looking forward to diving into this conversation, learn more about you and your background. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be a part of it.
Oh, great, of course. So let's dive right into it. I'm going to hand it right over to you. Just give us some general background for those who will watch this interview. Who are you for those who may not know you?
Sure. My name is Buddah Desmond. I am a writer, poet, and artist, amongst so many other things, based in the DMV, the DC metro area. I have been writing since I was about 7 or 8 years old. Started off doing short stories and literally creating books from scratch. Taking my old pajamas and cardboard and construction paper and illustrating the drawings and writing the actual stories. And that eventually drifted into song lyrics because of my deep love for music. And it was when I saw Poetic Justice in the movie theaters with my mom, hearing the words of Maya Angelou's poetry spoken by Janet Jackson's character in the film, Justice. It was hearing Maya Angelou's poetry in that movie that inspired me. And it touched me in such a way where I had said that if I can even have a glimmer of the impact that her words had on me with my writing, then I know that I'm doing something great. And from that point on, I've been writing poetry for a number of years, pretty consistently. I have released a total of 6 collections of poetry up to this point. The first one was released in 2012. That one was entitled Prevail, Poems on Life, Love, and Politics. And my most recent book was released in March of this year. It's entitled Coming Up from the Downside, Finding Joy in Our Song. And it is actually the third and final book in a trilogy that I call the Home Within trilogy. So that's the radio edit version about me and who I am. But just to give a little bit more about my actual writing, the themes of my writing run the gamut. Anything involving collective wellness, individual wellness, Black culture, Black pride, Black history, belonging, a sense of home, finding home, identity, spirituality, mental wellness, and so many other things. I write about, if I haven't written about it yet, at some point, you never know, I probably will, but I like to write about things that impact us in ways that sometimes we're not always able to communicate them verbally. But I think for a lot of us that are creative and artistic, we probably have an easier time expressing them creatively. But within that, we find ways to connect with other people who may be experiencing similar things, or it may hit them in a way where it's like, I never thought about that situation that way, or that someone in a situation could be feeling that way, and it opens up their minds. It may change their perspective. So it all goes back to the human condition, essentially. So.
Well, you gave me a lot of different topics I could segue into, but I know that I'm going to ask this. Your name, which I absolutely love. We've discussed this many times. So I know what I'm going to ask you. Tell us the origin of the very sassy name, because I love it. Snazzy. Go ahead.
Thank you. Buddah Desmond. It is the combination of 2 nicknames. I have a number of them. I will not go into details about all of those nicknames during this interview.
This was a preview of the interview. Watch the full interview for free on HeavieTalk Media's Patreon. See you there.